Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So, November 1st, 2025 is coming in like a bang with all of the events of Prince Andrew losing his titles and even his prince title. All because apparently, King William is in charge already. And also here in the US, with the Democrats and Republicans fighting over bill that is stopping the SNAP benefits for illegal immigrants and others using it, and it's become a big, huge battle. So, anyways, a lot going on with that, among other things. Very high uh, impact month this month. So, I wanted to look just to do a general forecast. Just see in general what's going on in the world, not anyone specific in this reading. Let's see how November is going to go in general. This is a holiday month in the US. We do have Thanksgiving at the end of the month. We just passed Halloween and now it's Thanksgiving. Families usually get together and big family reunions. So, but also a very political month. So let's take a look here. I'm going to do a few cards for the energies coming into November. How November will go in general. I'm not going to do week by week this time. I'm going to do past, present, 3 cards, past, present, future. So a few cards for the energies that are coming into this month that are going to be affecting people the most. And I get 5 of Cups reverse. So you can see that as an excess of or a small amount of unhappiness here. Of course, like I just described, a lot of unhappiness. And it looks like a Page of Cups because of new information coming in that's pertaining to enjoyment, pleasures, the imagination, young people here. Yeah. So I'm getting sad information coming in here in the beginning of the month. The energy is coming in. People are upset. They're going on TikTok. They're getting very emotional. Page of Cups. And in the US, at least, and of course, in other places, it's emotional news in general, getting people reacting about and news about life, nourishment, the cups, very emotional and around the world. I mean, I'm getting the world card, which I sometimes take as a globalist influence or world government influence going on, but this is very positive. So I think a lot of optimism coming into November, even with everything going on. People know it will end up okay in the end and are hopeful in the communities working together. And I also see this as sometimes a royal family card. So I think that, of course, we know what this sort of describes what I was just saying about Andrew. Sad news for him losing his titles, and because of the young women, children that he was involved with. And this news, of course, has gone around the world. It's big news around the world, and it's regarding the royal family. And many believe that this is a very positive move by King William. It seems to be, as someone wrote, he's king in everything but name right now. It looks like he was behind it all, and people seem a lot of people very impressed and think finally, someone's in charge, that they say in the monarchy. It's a very emotional start to this month. Cups, 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 and of course, Prince William is a water sign, so a lot of emotions running high right now, emotional reactions. So what is this month going to bring as things go on? So I get more information, more details, more discussion. So there'll be a lot to talk about this month, right? People are going to be poring over information, documents, laws, research. So there's going to be a lot of information, practical information with the coins. So again, also with money situations and bills pertaining to that, to money and practical things. So it does look like that will be going on this month. We'll have discussion about practical matters and finances and who gets what title, who should be next. That's coming up this month. My mind is always on, the royal family and the U.S. politics. That's my main thing. So, I do get 3 of Swords. So there is going to be constant, it's not just people discussing it and analyzing, but a lot of back and forth between two sides. Because as we know, there is a very strongly opinionated side on both sides of all these topics, and whether it's Prince Andrew or it's politics or it's immigrants. This is what the globalists, and again, a lot of this is globalist influence events going on, want the fighting, want people screaming at each other in videos and attacking each other. So I do get that every piece of information that comes out is going to be attacked and lied about and misrepresented. And, so much going on has been misrepresented and everything. You have to really research every topic that you hear, talking point, because there's always much more behind, especially in the mainstream media. They don't tell you half of what the information you need when it comes to our politics. So, yeah, so I see a lot of fighting, and because of this new information being scrutinized and discussed, talking points this month. So, but nothing major though. I mean, this is a minor arcana, so it's the usual left-right divide and whatnot, pro-anti monarchy divide. Yeah, the usual divides going back and forth. So what else for this month? So we have a lot of discussion. Of course, it is, like I said, Thanksgiving, people getting together, discussing and making plans. So I do see there are going to be, besides, getting rid of the waste and getting rid of what we don't want, there's more looking towards the future. And again, he's holding a globe, so you could, again, sort of a globalist, the world here kind of vibe. Need to be aware of, well, what exactly is pushing us? Are the solutions pushing us towards a one world government, or are they putting the people at the center of what they're pushing? What are the future plans? What's the end game? So keeping that in mind, instead of getting caught up in the drama and the violence potentially, or thievery. People are, expecting a lot of, people stealing from the stores and chaos and looting and whatnot. But is this being hyped up for another reason? Is this going to be a push for a new financial system, which would fall right in line with the globalists? So I think that it's important this month to keep in mind, does the solution push towards a globalist plan? I'm seeing planning at the bottom of this all, of these fighting and divisiveness, divide and conquer, and the information coming out. So be very careful. And of course, the plan also is to suppress and censor information that they don't want you to know, right? Harry and Meghan are working hard to get those censorship on social media. They can't stand it. You can't, how dare you talk to each other? They only want you to get the official narrative. And of course, they're working for the globalists, Harry and Meghan. So, yeah, we've got to be on guard with that, with not just looking at the issue alone, but what is the backdrop? What is it leading to? What could it be leading to? And how do you prevent it from leading to something you don't want it to lead to? So that pertains to a lot of things. So looking at the long term, like what are the consequences down the road, right? So now, towards the end of the month, going into November, so I am getting minor arcana, nothing dramatic, nothing, that's going to be too upsetting here. I don't see. But going into the future, I just got a major arcana, a magician, so empowering themselves, major coordination there. It could be major magic. He's actually got the magic wand there. So I do see, and I often see as PR, people pushing their narrative successfully. So I do see November going into December, some really strong push by mainstream media and others in the alternate media who are pushing in a particular agenda going into the new year and pushing hard. Could be something new. It's separating from an old way of doing something, or separating from a previous ally. If you're looking at a global kind of perspective, I see it, or separating from perhaps the globalist agenda, separating from the UN or the WHO or something like that. So I do see going into the new year is going to be some separations for the benefit to empower and exercise your own country's own free will and own way of doing things. So I do think that there's a separation here, but it looks very positive, and one that's for the better, and one that's for sovereignty more than anything. So like decoupling may perhaps, and in the long term, the Lovers reverse. So now I'm getting even more separation. I've got two separation cards going on down here at the end of November going into December. So again, this is a very pain. It can be very painful, but it could also be a major arcana, or being referring to countries separating from, again, the globalist agenda, or just a major separation, or problems between two groups, two countries, two sides heating up. So I see this all together as towards it going the end of November into December. I see mainstream media, you can look at this as dividing people more and more, dividing us through the algorithms, right? So that we're all in an echo chamber. And I was watching Chase Hughes. He's so interesting. I love his videos. He talks about radicalization and why people get so radicalized online, like people who cheered on the death of somebody. And he said one of the reasons is because algorithms are separating and isolating people from each other. And, you remember during COVID, the mainstream media told people, don't invite unvaccinated home for the holidays. They wanted to separate. Once you do that, once you completely separate two groups, that's when it pushes them to see each other as inhuman, not human anymore. You don't have anything to relate to. You never interact or see them as humans. And that's what radicalizes you and can push you to wishing death upon them, because you don't even see them as human anymore. And I see that kind of thing happening here. This can be mass manipulation by powers that ought not be, separating and causing more strife and suffering, pain and suffering, and more divide and conquer technique going on here. So things getting a little worse. They're going into December, like really trying to inflame that. So just being aware of that kind of manipulation going on. But at the same time, on a positive side, if it's a good guys doing this can talk about separating from the evil ones. So let me see, is this more about separating good people from each other, or is this separating good people from the evil globalist technocrats? That's how you look at it. Let me see. So what is that referring to mainly? One clarification card here. Ooh, Five of Wands. So it's a situation that's been battling on for a long time. It never seems to end. I kind of think of like Antifa, BLM groups here, all these ones that are hopefully causing trouble, looting, and all of that. And Emperor reversed. Oh, okay. So this is going to be about, I believe, going after the people who are trying to overthrow the governments. So there's two main groups I think of when I think of the revolutionary groups. You've got the socialist communists who've been doing a lot of damage, and the New York City mayor, for example, just like in London, mayors are destroying the city and just to destroy the Western world. So overcoming those people, it seems like we need a separation from those who are trying to destroy our way of life and freedom of speech. So I think of the socialists, communists, and also the globalists as well is what I think of, because both of those groups want to destroy our country and the way it's run, and they want dictatorships. But one's a technocracy, one's a communist dictatorship. Both are horrible, and those are the people there's going to be more separation from. So I see this more as a good guys and people waking up to that and separating. And there may be some big stories related to that, to this sort of not tolerating woke anymore. Woke is communism, so it's separating from that more and more. It's going to get more and more dramatic from November into December as we go into the holidays. Now, remember, when Biden was in office, around Christmas time was when Obama came out, who's very anti-American and very anti-Christian. I would say Satanist. Personally, I think they're Satanists, but Obama came out with the movie The End of America, trying to depress everybody. And it was right before Christmas. Actually, he put the movie out on, I think it was Mary Magdalene holiday. I forget what date that is, in December. So he's purposely on a Christian holiday. And then Biden came out and announced Trans Awareness Day on Easter Day. And on Christmas, around Christmas Day, day before or after, I think it was the day before too, there was a sudden leak of a pornographic video from the White House. Some gay gay people. So it was like this constant attack at Christmas time was what's going on under the evil Biden regime. So we'll have to wait and see. I think things will be much different this year. Trump surrounded by his Christians, so a much different holiday season. I think that the separation and exposure and people being sick of the abuse of Christians as well. In that, I mean, we know there's in Nigeria, there's been over 40,000 Christians murdered there. So it's something that needs to be dealt with and needs to be separated from and not tolerated. And I think that's going to be coming up, particularly with Christmas coming up, being highlighted and all of that. So I see a lot going on here. It's an important time of the year, and this is going to be an important month. But again, I see it as a positive month, difficult at times, but working towards improvement and the life in countries that we want. So there you have it, that the people want. So I hope you found this interesting. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.